Anxiety is really common in the menopause. It's obviously a very complex thing. Anxiety is very complex, but many women going through the menopause experience anxiety, and that's in part attributed to the change in sex hormones, so specifically estrogen and progesterone, and the impact that that change has on key neurotransmitters that control our body's response to our environment and can generate more feelings of anxiety. In addition to that, obviously, when we go through the menopause, women can experience changes to their sleep and get quite patchy sleep, light sleep, and not getting that deep quality sleep. And that too can exacerbate the feeling and the symptoms of anxiety. Anxiety is one of those symptoms that can be experienced at whatever stage of the menopause you're in. But many women going through that perimenopausal stage, that early stages of the menopause, is where they can feel it more acutely. And often that can be one of the first symptoms they experience, is just feeling just not quite right, a little bit anxious. And that's affecting their sleep and their everyday, and that can be a real sign of that early perimenopause stage. Anxiety is a really common symptom of life in general, and we've all, I'm sure, experienced anxiety, but it's especially common in that perimenopausal stage, as I said, because of the change in hormones. But the way that it shows up in women in that perimenopausal stage can be very nuanced and subtle. It can be finding the small things that you used to find really easy more difficult, more challenging, feeling overwhelmed. It can be interrupting your sleep and your ability to sort of socialize and sort of essentially feel like you're holding your own. A lot of people that I speak to experience it as a sort of almost like they just don't feel themselves. And then, of course, there are the physical symptoms as well. There is the change in heart rate, the digestive changes, dry mouth, heightened temperature, like feeling a little bit more sweaty, and then in its extreme, panic attacks. Anxiety can also work as a reminder to ourselves to go gently. And some really good ways of doing that is to engage in a self-care program as much as you can that involves low intensity exercise, so an exercise that's getting the heart rate going but is not putting too much strain on the body. Relaxation techniques, whatever that means for you, so that could be going on a walk in nature, it could be running a bath, it could be spending time with friends. Also making sure that you're eating a really wholesome diet. That can make a profound impact on how your body produces the chemicals that it needs to mitigate anxiety. And then also my favourite supplement regime to support that would be to use a Ayurvedic traditional herb called ashwagandha. And it has been used traditionally to support levels of cortisol, so support the stress in our body, which can influence anxiety levels as well. And then magnesium. Magnesium is the most fantastic mineral that many of us are actually very deficient in or depleted in, and can be used up more readily when we're going through periods of stress and anxiety. And it is really important for supporting the nervous system. And amongst all of this, if you are unsure about what is right specifically for you, then I would really encourage you to go onto our website and book a consultation with one of our expert nutritional therapists.